Hi guys, welcome to the Get It Done podcast with Erin. The podcast where I talk to business owners. I'm like always trying to get ready right at the time. The podcast where I talk to business owners about their business, allowing them to share their business, allowing them to share their journey. I have always been inspired by the journey, the story of a business owner. I talk to a lot of people, and the one reason why they are not doing whatever it is that they desire to do in most cases, um, starting their business is usually because they're scared to do the thing. So in attempts to destroy the spirit of fear, I am talking to business owners, um, and allowing them to share their story, just in hopes. In my prayer is that someone will hear the story of someone that's out there actually getting it done, and be inspired to get it done as well. So for the most part, I'm talking to people that I don't know. I've never met these people before. I've never held a conversation with them, most cases, and I just find it more interesting to talk to people that I don't know. So she is here. Today's guest is Danielle. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you. Okay, so I'll just let you go ahead and introduce yourself, and tell us about your business.
Yes, well, first, thank you so much for having me. I am so
Thank you for
grateful
being
to be here
here.
today. So I'm Danielle, and I am a personal chef, a personal and performance
Nice.
chef.
Nice.
And it's something I've been doing for about the past, I'd say, 4 years.
Nice.
My original background is in hotels and hospitality. So I did that straight out of college. And then I've always loved cooking since I was little and just decided to try and give cooking a go and just kind of been making it work ever since.
I love that. And how have you turned it into a business?
I've honestly done a little bit of old school and just gone door to door.
Nice. Like literally.
Yeah.
So I thought, because I sometimes I run in my neighborhood, and a lot of times I'll take my business cards with me, and if I actually see a person, I'll give them a business card. But I've thought about like walking to the doors, like just to introduce myself and let
Yeah.
people know what I'm doing. But I'm like, because I don't like when people come to my door.
Yeah. Trust me. I've had some interesting conversations and interactions with people for sure.
How
But
funny.
yeah.
What is your favorite thing to cook?
Oh gosh, that's so tough. I would say I love to cook Mediterranean, like those flavors and spices, like with tahini and sumac and kind of all those
Mm.
kinds of flavors and spices. That's probably my favorite to cook and honestly eat too. So I would say those are probably my favorite. But I did grow up in an Irish household, so meat and potatoes
Mm.
were a thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I love a good stew or a good pot roast or
Yummy.
shepherd's pie as well.
Ooh. I haven't really been eating lately because I'm trying to lose. Well, I've been eating. I just haven't been like cooking food. Or if I do cook, it's like vegetables. But I haven't really been eating like that. So now when you're talking about all this food, I'm like, that sounds good.
Yeah, to me, it's like a warm hug.
Yes. So you said you've been in business for how long?
I started right before 2020, so right
Okay.
before COVID. I tried to get it going, and then during COVID, it was its own unique kind of obstacles, if you know what I mean, because people didn't want me like physically cooking in their home.
Yeah.
So then I started more of doing meal prep and just like dropping off at their door. But yeah, it's kind of evolved since then for sure.
And how has it evolved?
I've definitely, I would say, I'm still doing some parts meal prep, but I've also had the opportunity to cook for some professional athletes as well. So I've learned and kind of started to dabble in like the performance aspect of food too. And also kind of, I just moved to LA about a month ago. So
I was just about to ask you where you located.
I'm in Santa Monica.
Nice.
So, but I just moved here about a month ago, and now I'm realizing there's more events and things that go on. So I'm starting to dabble into that space a little bit as well.
I love that. And where are you from?
I grew up in the Temecula area.
Oh, okay. So
So
you've still been in California.
yeah, I've lived in a lot of states though when I worked in hotels. So this was my 14th move since college.
Oh,
So
I hate moving. Oh my goodness, that just sounds like
yeah.
What are you most, I guess, impressed with, or what do you love most about being in business for yourself?
For me, it's about just getting people back to having those like family dinners around the table and building that connection and love around kind of food and creating those conversations that honestly just like kind of lasts a lifetime. You know, like we build those memories. That would say I think is probably my proudest is just bringing people back and eating delicious, nourishing food.
Have you learned anything about yourself since being in business?
Yes, I have. I've learned I've got to be my own biggest cheerleader. And I've also learned that it's very up and down. It's not a straight road at all, which I kind of knew, but it's definitely, I've got to be uncomfortable, I say about like 80% of the time, as far as like putting myself out there and keep maintaining my confidence in what I do and knowing that just because I wasn't professionally trained that I still do a good job.
I love that. And so right now you are doing events.
Yeah, I've got one client I'm cooking for once a week right now, and then I'm starting to dabble into events as well.
Okay, is there like a large scale that you see your business going, or a larger scale that you see your business going to?
I've been thinking about it. Yeah. Ideally, I would love to create something more that could be like delivered to your home, not so much food wise, but I cook in so many people's homes. I realize they've got either too much stuff or they've got not the right things. So kind of creating something to where like it's like a kitchen in a box, so to say, that gets delivered to your house. So you have just the right amount of things that you would need to cook. That I think would be something I would love to do one day. And also I would love to get involved in the kids' schooling and teach kids how to cook.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Seasonings, like your own seasoning line.
That would be fun. That would be something I'd love to. Yeah. Absolutely. Because I feel like that's the one thing a lot of people are afraid of spices. They don't use enough. So
yeah,
got to go heavy handed on the spices for sure.
Who is your ideal client if you have one?
If I have one, I'm still honestly trying to figure that out a little bit. But I love cooking for families and I do love cooking for professional athletes. So those would be probably my two.
I took a business, I don't know what it is. I guess a course. I don't know. But what I took away from that was when figuring out our ideal client is basically make up who you want. But they were saying that we have to be, I mean, it works, but you have to be like so clear. Like, what color is her hair? What's her name? What does she do for work? Like all these specific details about our ideal client, and that helped me with that. So it might help you as well. I don't know.
No, thank you so much. Yeah. Absolutely.
So what was your idea like when you were younger? I don't know, teenager, child, kid. What did you want to be when you grew up? What was the idea?
So I loved like Criminal Minds and CSI and I loved forensics. Yeah.
Right.
So I wanted to be that person that like went to the crime scene and like solved the crime.
Oh, how funny.
But once I realized that that's not what you do, that there's like 10 other people involved. Yeah. And you just sit kind of behind a microscope. I realized that was not so much for me. And then I also wanted to be a nurse, but then I got into all the chemistry classes and I was like, this is a little bit more science than I wanted. So.
How funny. And it's so funny how we have this idea of like what we're going to do or what we want to do. And then it's like, okay, before we even get to it, it's like once we get to the steps of, I don't know, figuring out what it is that we have to do before we get there, we like, I don't know about this.
Absolutely. And then when you actually get like a little taste of what like the day in your life could be, you're like, ooh, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So that's what I always tell, like, especially like younger people, like just try stuff and figure out what it is that you want. And like, if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. But at least you know, like, this is not it for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Would your younger self believe you are who you are today? Would she be proud? Would she be surprised? What would she, or how would she feel?
I think she would be proud, but also I'm honestly doing a lot of like inner child work in therapy right now, so this kind of hits home. But also like proud and yet excited, knowing that there's like so much opportunity still out there.
Yeah. Lots of opportunity. And what do you have to say to her, your younger self?
I love you. You're going to do a good job. And when things get hard, just know that you'll make it through.
Nice. What are you excited about right now?
I'm excited about putting myself in uncomfortable conversations, in an uncomfortable, like, I wouldn't say work environments, but just like getting myself uncomfortable and putting myself out there more.
Yeah, and those are the best. We learn some. They are very, very like when they're uncomfortable, they are uncomfortable. But we learn so much from those situations. So
Yeah,
good that you're
absolutely.
excited about it.
Yeah, thank you. And also just like meeting new people and getting like a community and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What are you afraid of in business, if there is anything that you are?
I think definitely afraid of failure, just because this is all. I mean, to be honest, I wish they taught a lot of this in school, like as far as like taxes and like, you know what I mean? Like setting the business up for success, if you know what I mean.
I have a business degree, and I think that I mean, other than research, I don't I don't know any.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get any of what I'm doing from school.
Yes. So that, and I think also not living up to my potential.
Yeah. But what is really failure? Like that, I think we have to take that out, because it's like it's not failure, it's just a lesson. And then a lot of times, especially with me, like things that I would or someone would consider failure is I just took that lesson and applied it to the next thing that I was doing, because we learn so much from that. So we have to fail.
Absolutely.
So don't be scared.
Yeah, I know.
Don't be scared. It comes with the territory.
It does.
It's impossible for us not to.
Absolutely.
Do you have children?
I don't know.
No. Do you want children?
I don't think so.
No.
I love being around kids, but I still like returning them, and I'm not sure.
Give them back to their mama.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I love kids, and I just don't know.
If you want to be a mother.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so that question's out. Is there anyone in your that's still living, either whether it be a friend, a family member, I don't know, anybody, that you would say has contributed to the growth of your business, you starting the business, I don't know, just inspiring you in one way or another?
I would say there's a few people in this food space that have inspired me.
That you know personally, I'm sorry.
Oh, that I know personally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think I've had a couple people that more recent in my life that have been very supportive, and kind of been a cheerleader in a way for me. But other than that, yeah, I think don't have too much family support right now, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
We'll go. Yeah.
Sometimes it's for the best.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, and I'm still trying to, in a way, like find those people I can be like super open and vulnerable with too.
Well, the people that you thought of, or the person, make sure you call them today or tomorrow. Hopefully it's today, and let them know that you're grateful for them. Tell them whatever it is you got to tell them. Give them their flowers.
I actually saw her this morning and gave her a big hug. So.
Oh, nice. And then call her like, you know what? I saw you today, but I have to tell you this.
Absolutely, 100%.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for you for allowing me to be on your podcast. Aww. And I'm also grateful for the people I am meeting and them welcoming me as me and not judging me for who I am.
Yeah. What are you most proud of in your business?
I'm most proud of not giving up.
Because it can be tough.
Yeah. 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 And definitely, I think just also being open to not sticking to like one thing and being open to evolving into whatever it comes as.
What does that mean?
Kind of like not like in a way of like thinking that I always, in a way, wanted to be like a private chef for just one
Oh,
family,
yeah.
if you know what I mean. Instead, but
Yeah.
now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do some events and maybe cook for a family here and there. You know what I mean? Just kind of like being open to all the opportunities that are possible.
Yeah, because sometimes we are focused so much on what it is that we're doing or what our idea of what it's supposed to be, and then we kind of get like this type of tunnel vision, and that's the only thing we see. And it's like once we look around, it's like, oh, I could be doing this, I could be doing this.
Yep. Yep.
So yes, is there one thing that you can say that you are unbeatable at?
I would say I'm very resilient. So I'm very, yeah, I would say resiliency and hard work are two things that I'm proud of, but also just kind of part of who I am.
And where does it come from?
I think just from growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of family stuff, but also just playing sports and just wanting to be kind of the best I could be.
What sports do you play?
Growing up, I played soccer, basketball, gymnastics, and I did track and cross country. And
Nice.
now I love it. Now I love to lift, and I love to just like go on hikes and be outside in nature.
Oh my goodness. So the struggle of my life right now and probably the past year is like consistently working out. Tomorrow one of my friends, you know how the gym has the classes, a schedule of classes for the day.
Mhm.
So I thought this was my idea too, and now I like all week I've been nervous about tomorrow because we're doing tomorrow and Friday. But I text her and I was like, let's do all of the classes during the morning on like a day at the gym or whatever. And she's like, okay, let's do Thursday and Friday. I'm like, back to back 2 days. So basically we're getting them up in the morning to be at the gym at 5 a.m. to do all of the classes until 1 o'clock. Like back to back to back. I think we do get an hour break, and I'll probably just do the steam room, the sauna, and then shower. And then go back. But I'm so nervous about tomorrow.
You go, girl. It'll be fun.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
just make
sure
you fuel yourself. You need food for all of that. Make sure you drink water. And then just give yourself, I like to tell myself, you give it the 5-minute rule. You show up, you get 5 minutes, and if you're not feeling good after those 5 minutes, you can tap out.
Peace out. Yeah. So the first class is cycle class, which is my favorite. So I'm glad that that's the first class. And then I don't know what's after. I'm scared to even look at the schedule. Like I'm nervous. About it.
Yeah, just be careful, and have fun.
Yeah, and
just remember it's all for fun.
Yeah, and then my idea was like, well, the worst thing that could happen is I can just like, okay, I've had enough. But some of the classes, which is what I'm nervous about, some of the classes they pair you with a partner. So you can't tap out with a partner. You have to keep going. So I might tell her like, girl, I don't know, you might want to pick another partner.
That's where you tap into your inner athlete and just go.
Yeah. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous about it. Well, we'll see
it'll be so
happens.
fun. But I'm proud of you. Good for you for stepping out of a little bit of your comfort zone.
Because I really want to love working out, and I don't.
You just have to find like what works for you.
Yeah.
Find that one class, find even just a walk outside, whatever, listening to a podcast or whatever it is, just find what lights you up. Then it won't feel as much of a chore.
Yes, thank you. And it's not because I used to hate it, so I don't hate it, but I think it's pulling myself when I don't feel like it. So I have to just get over that part. Like when I don't feel like it, just still get my ass up and go do it. Excuse my language.
No, you're fine.
Beach days or rainy days in the house?
Oh gosh, beach days. I don't. Cloudiness. No, just like this past week was rough on my mental health.
We've been getting a lot of rain already this year. Like even last year, it rained a lot for LA. But like, I'm like, okay, what is going on? Like, this is just Too much.
I know. I'm just kind of like, oh, I pay how much in rent and I have to sit through this weather? Kidding, but not.
Girl, for real. Like really. I'm fine with the rain as long as I don't have to leave the house. If I'm in the house
Yeah.
and I'm chilling, then that's cool. But like if I have clients and I gotta go back and forth and get them from the gate, no, I don't want to do that. What do most people think that is true about you, but it's not?
That I have everything together.
Mm. And what does that
I,
really like mean though? People like
for me, I've been really good at never really telling people how I truly feel. Like I'm really good at holding my emotions in and not showing my emotions. And I've like built up like the Great Wall of
oh
China, if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
everything's always great when on the
Yeah.
inside I can be like miserable and a mess. So
Right.
I'm working on trying to take those bricks down one by one.
Where does that come from? Are you the oldest or the only child?
I'm not the oldest, but my brother and I are 6 years apart. So it
Oh.
was kind of like I was the only child in a way.
Yeah.
Just because we had like he was in high school and I was still in elementary school. Like it was a big gap, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
like my sister and I, we are about 12 years apart. So
Okay.
it's like we were both the only child.
Yeah.
Yep. But I thought when you said have it all together, because most people like they're like, I just need to get my life together, or and I'm just like, what is that like?
Yeah.
Do we ever really have it all
No,
together? Like, I don't think
no.
any, like, even people that I know that are older, like, what does that
Yeah.
mean? But
No, I
I
think
don't
for
know.
me it's just like I'm not good at really just like sharing my emotions and how I
Being
feel.
expressive, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to work on that too, but well, I have to find the balance because sometimes I'm just so straightforward and most people aren't used to that. Or I just don't say anything at all. So I have to find that. But I don't know if I want to find it because when I say something, I mean it and I want to be clear on what I say. So it's just communication is just hard, period.
It
It's
is.
when you're
It
dealing
is.
with other people, it's just hard. Unless it's just like business, straightforward stuff, like things that I have to say.
Yeah.
But like relationships wise, girl.
It's hard because I feel like I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I feel like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are very sensitive. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
grow up sensitive. Like my mom was very direct and it was
Mm-hmm.
exactly what it was, like
Mm-hmm.
filter. So that's what I'm used to. So
Yeah,
I
because
don't
that's how moms are. They just
yeah,
say what they say and they don't care how it comes out. They like, I said what I said and I mean
exactly.
it.
So I don't
Yeah.
take offense to that, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like a delicate dance.
Yeah.
Trying to communicate.
Yeah. But I learned fast that, or very early on, because I've started working so early. I was working at like 12 years old, 13 years old. Um, but I learned that if when you are that way, people take advantage of that. Once they find out that, oh, she's not gonna say anything, or so like I very early on I've always been just straightforward. I say what I have to say and I stand on it. And then it like on the flip side, if I don't say anything about it, most times I don't care that much. Like, yeah, I seen you
Yeah.
did that extra stuff, but I don't care to even go into it. So it just depends on the situation, I guess. Do you believe in work-life balance?
I don't. I
No.
believe there's seasons in life where work takes over more than the balance, I guess, if that's what you want to say.
Yes, I agree.
But I think it's just finding what works for you.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's ever going to be 50-50. But I think each day, if like we can take time for ourselves and whatever fills our cup, whether it's like a 10-minute thing or an hour thing, I think that's super important.
Yeah. Did you have any like so wait, did you was it just like, you know what, I'm going into business? Like how did this happen? How did you even get to the point where you make the decision to go into business?
So I worked in hotels and I love to work. I was working like 80-hour weeks, taking one day off taking like one day off a month, type of thing. And I became burnt toast at the end of like
Yes.
eight years.
Oh my goodness.
And so I tried an office job, with a construction company, completely random, but I ended up realizing I'm not a behind the computer type of girl. I love to like,
Was it boring?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I did office work and it damn near drove me nuts. Like, I was
Yeah.
just like, how do people do this for years and
Yeah.
years and years? Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like we would go on construction sites and I was like, oh, I want to be the one with the hammer. Like, I don't want to be
Well, at least
I
you
want
got to go outside.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I decided right kind of at the end of 2019 to move back to a place I loved, which was Park City, Utah. And I decided to give it a go. So I ended up doing like 4 different things. I was like doing samples for a company in the grocery store. I was substituting at the school. And I ended up finding a couple families to cook for and just kind of been chugging away ever since.
Nice. I love that. There was a reason for me asking you that question, but I forgot. I don't remember, but it'll come back to
That's
me.
okay.
I hate when this happens. Any good advice lately?
Any good advice? I'm reading this book called Mindset, and it's about like how you can either live in a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. So I think it's really just like turning my wheels, if that makes sense, and trying to focus more of being in a growth mindset in life and not fixed on certain things and certain ways that I've adapted throughout my life and realizing, oh, maybe this isn't serving me anymore.
Right.
So I think that, right. I don't know if that's so much advice, but just kind of like things I'm trying to bring into my life right now.
Is it, how important do you think mindset is?
Oh, I think it's 100% one of the most important things.
Yes, it's everything, I would say. And a lot of times people don't even realize it. So good job even reading the book, because most people are so set in their ways and their thought process of, oh, this isn't going to work. And it's just like, if you just change your mind on the thing, it can totally work. Like, our mind and our thoughts towards whatever it is that we're doing are so powerful, and I say mindset is most important. The most important thing. Because if you don't really think you can do it, you're not going to do it. Yeah. If you believe you're going to do something, you're going to figure out a way, no matter what, to get that thing done.
Yeah, there's something I say to myself every day. A few months ago, I heard it in a meditation, and I just tell myself, I'm powerful, I'm fearless, and I am unstoppable.
Period.
Yeah.
Is there something you wish you'd had known before you started the business that you think would have probably helped you along the way?
Oh gosh, I think just like all about taxes. That
Yes.
I'm still like trying to learn all that kind of stuff, and just like, yeah, just kind of more like the back end business stuff. I think
every new business owner's complaint is taxes.
Yeah, because it's not like a straight line. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So I think that is probably, I mean, I'm grateful I've already like paid my taxes this year and it's done, but it's still like what I can write off, and like, you know what I mean? Like all things.
The details. Mm-hmm. Yes. One question you would ask a business owner.
One question I would ask a business owner. What is your why?
What is your why?
My why is because I don't want people to have to suffer in the ways I have suffered with relationships with food and nourishing yourself.
Nice. I love that. I love your why.
Thank you. Do
you think it is important to build a personal brand? And if so, how important is it to you?
I do. But I also love the aspect of partnering with a brand that's already well established, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
But I do. I think it's something for me. I'm still learning, like kind of what my brand will be exactly. But I think it's good to have something developed. I do.
Nice. What do you think sets you apart from others in your industry?
The amount of love I put into what I do, and just really trying to meet people where they're at and doing the best, showing up as the best version of me every time I work.
Yeah. Is there a feeling that you miss that isn't there because you are working your own business opposed to going to work every day?
Yeah, I definitely miss the aspect of like when I worked in hotels, just like seeing guests every day and having employees that I was either a manager or supervisor over, and just like learning about their lives and their families, and making those connections.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Because
something I
it's
miss.
completely different now.
Mhm.
How do you promote? How do you market the business?
So flyers, business cards. I've been going around to all the gyms and kind of businesses and just kind of saying who I am and if I can offer any services in any way. But yeah, I've realized some of the towns here in LA, they allow flyers and some don't.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
I'm learning the hard way that like I'm being like, oh, I just put one up there, but I'm like, oh, it's already gone. So
Like, where'd it go? They threw my
yeah,
stuff in the trash.
yep, exactly. So yeah, and then a little door to door as well. I'm just also learning that too, because here everybody has gates and cameras and all the things, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not as easy to get to the door. But
Yeah.
I did go to Taylor Swift's house the other day
Oh
and
my
give this in.
God.
Yeah, I know, right? I thought, what the heck, why not? If
All right.
literally had a dream about it like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, you know what? If I never do it, I'll never know. So yeah, I just brought my flyer and my business card, and the security guy was like, wait, hold on. I'm like, oh no, I know I can't go in and say hi or anything, but can you just, if you're allowed to give this to them, great. If not, no big deal.
What did he say?
So he's like, oh, well, he was like a little nervous. He's like, I'll ask my supervisor. I was like, okay,
Oh,
great.
he's scared.
Yeah.
Like, here, give your supervisor a card as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's bold.
Yeah, right.
What is something that you would that you wouldn't ever want to change about yourself? One thing that you absolutely love so much about you.
My willingness to not give up on myself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
When was the last time you surprised yourself?
Oh gosh. I would say sometimes it's a daily basis. I would say, actually, I'll just say yesterday. I am therapy weekly, which is fabulous. But I actually I cried and broke down a little bit and got vulnerable, and I normally don't do that. So,
I was about to say, is that abnormal? Okay.
Very. Let's just say I've been with my therapist for 2 years, and that was the first time. So.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, like, I'm not a crier, so like sometimes I really want to cry, like if because I know when I do cry, if I'm emotional about something, when I do cry, I feel better. So like there's times when I'm emotional about things, but I can't cry, and I'm like, I just wish it would just like come out. I just want to cry. Like what is going on?
Like, can we push the cry button, please? I'm ready.
Right, exactly. Like, can I just?
Yes. Absolutely.
But yeah, no, crying and I think that stems from like when I would cry as a little girl, my mom would always be like, I don't know what you're crying for. Crying not gonna change nothing. So like, I don't cry. I cry when I know like I'm not gonna see someone for a long time. I'll cry if I'm leaving or they're leaving. But other than that, like I just don't cry, and that's not a flex or I want to cry. What has been the biggest or the best compliment a stranger has given you, if you can remember?
When I was in Park City and I cooked for an event, someone came up to me and told me that it was like the best meal they've ever had in their life.
Ooh, okay. That is a great compliment.
Yeah. And this family was like traveled the world and all the things. So I was just like, nice. Oh wow,
so
okay.
Like you've had a lot of meals from a lot of different places. Your happiest memory from today or between today and a year ago, if you can think of it.
My happiest memory, I would say going on a hike with my friend that I saw and hugged this morning a few weeks ago.
Nice. What do you crave more of?
Like food?
Or whatever you can.
Right now in my life, I'm craving community.
Nice.
And like making connections with people.
And what are you doing to create community?
Putting myself out there.
Nice.
Going to a bunch of different events, and I joined a new gym, and I realized there's so many events in LA. It's kind of
Yes,
I have
there's
to pay I have to pace
always
myself.
something to do, and yeah, like
Yeah.
there's always something to do here.
Yeah.
Um, you should create a Facebook group.
I might do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that creates your community, and then
Yeah.
it's the community that you want to create. So
Yeah.
the community that you're looking for, create it. Um, I'm so excited for you. You can
Thank
do a
you.
podcast. You can I'm like, girl, do everything.
I'm trying to get do more. You know what I mean? Do things that get me
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So.
I just I need to be. I'm just like I do everything from home. And I rarely, if I do leave, I'm going to the gym, but I rarely leave my house. And earlier this year or the end of last year, I told myself that I would be doing, but I think I'm gonna start next year, like doing I'm doing like more face-to-face networking, because everything I do is online through a group, or I mean, other than taking my clients. So yeah, I need to get on it like you.
Yeah. You can do it. I have faith in you.
Yeah, the last time I went to one, I was like a little networking event. I was ready to go home. So
well, that's the thing. Like just like the gym, I apply my 5-minute rule. I tell myself,
then you're like, okay,
yeah. Well, it depends though, because if I'm like driving all the way to like
far.
Hollywood or something,
You got to make
that's
it worth it.
Yeah, I got
right.
to like do an hour rule at
right.
But yeah, I just tell myself like, and another thing I've learned, like nothing starts on time. So I've also realized that
because I was there on time and it wasn't. Yeah.
And no one showed up. I was like, oh, this is awkward. But yeah, I give myself like a time gap, and if I'm loving it, I end up staying, and if not, I'm like, great to meet you all, but I will see you later.
Yeah, so I just gotta actually get up and go. But it's just it's always awkward to me. Like, I don't know. I won't even go into that. One lesson that took you the longest to learn.
Oh God. Food is not the enemy.
It can be though.
It can. But
yes.
For me,
yeah,
it is not. And it's just, it was, yes, definitely. It is not the enemy. It's a thing that nourishes me and will give me life and allow me to do the things that I love.
Yes, I love that. Is there anything that you would like to share, talk about that we have not gone over?
I think just when it comes to like cooking and people cooking at home, just try and, I know this is probably easier said than done, but try to not make it so stressful. Just find the foods that work for you and that you love, and that also love you back. So you enjoy eating them, but they also make you feel great too.
Yeah.
And have some fun. Don't be afraid of like making a mistake, or try some new things. And because it's just, I feel like we need to bring more joy back into cooking and make it less stressful and less about like, oh, is this gluten-free? Is this healthy? Is this and this and this? And just kind of like bring the joy back, because then you will realize the things that you love cooking and then that you love eating too.
Yeah. I find myself making the same thing over and over again. Like, so the hard thing for me is like new idea, or like when I was cooking all the time, it was like new cooking ideas, because I'm eating the same things over and over again. But I guess that's just what we do. Like,
It's not a bad thing.
No.
I think it's fun to sometimes like change up a spice, or you know what I mean, get one new different vegetable or fruit or something for the week, and try it out and see how it goes. But I'm the same too. I tend to eat, I would say not the same, but a handful of the same things for sure weekly.
Yeah. But yes, trying out the new fruits. I'm always excited to try out different fruits, especially fruit, because I love it so much. One time, one of me and my best friends, we went to like, I don't know where we were at, maybe Koreatown, because they sell a bunch of like different fruits there. And we brought all of these different exotic fruits. And then we came back home and like basically sampled them all. So that was it was her idea. I was like, oh, this
That's
is
so
fun.
fun.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
so fun. Well, Danielle, thank you so very much for showing up, for being here. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I will be texting you at some point. But thank you for being here. One
Thank
more
you for
thing.
having me.
Sorry. Final
Yes.
question.
No. Yep.
I forgot. So the idea of the podcast is to inspire someone that is just scared to do the thing. Hopefully they can hear something that we've said to just get them on the ball to get up and do it. So is there anything that you have to say to the girl or guy that is just scared to get it done?
Oh, I think you just got to do the damn thing.
Period.
Yeah. It's not going to be comfortable. It could at times not be fun, but it's what will keep you going. And
Yes.
you really just have to just say yes, even though, as long as it's like within your means. But yeah, you just, like I said, kind of at the beginning, you got to be your own biggest cheerleader.
I agree. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Same here.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Episode 34. I am always inspired. I'm always inspired by talking to someone that has decided to get up and do it despite whatever is going on, despite everything. I love that Danielle is out here trying to figure it out. And then she said, I guess, I don't know if they will be considered, oh, I remember the question that I was going to ask her now. But she set in place certain goals. This goal in particular is to step outside of her comfort zone. And these are things that we have to set in place as business owners, especially new business owners, small business owners. We have to figure out, okay, where do I want this to go and how do I get there? And just figure out a way to do it. So I love that. Don't forget to thank God for your blessings. Don't forget to say your prayers. Don't forget to take care of your skin. And don't forget to subscribe, follow, do all of the things on whatever platform you're watching this or listening to this on. If you are a business owner that would like to share your business, I would love to hear your story. So contact me on whatever platform you're seeing this on. I have one or two more podcasts today. So I will see you later. Bye.